One parliamentary protest, two startling realities. Labour MPs essentially protesting publicly against the lethargy of their own leadership over anti-Semitism.
What on earth is going wrong with our party?
And Jeremy Corbyn not just not joining in a protest, but the target of frustrated and upset members of the Jewish community. It's quite something that Labour MPs are in some way protesting against their own leadership.
Well, look, I think some issues are about our core values. They're bigger than any one person. They're bigger than me. They're bigger than any other member of the party. They are about the whole ethos and purpose of the Labour Party. And I think when those issues are being called into question, it behoves all of us to stand up and be counted.
As ever, the Labour leader not answering questions at his home. But this afternoon, Mr Corbyn replied in a letter to Jewish community leaders saying he was a militant opponent of anti-Semitism and their ally in the fight against it. In the letter, he acknowledged anti-Semitism has surfaced within the Labour Party and has too often been dismissed as simply a matter of a few bad apples. He said that comparing Israel or the actions of the Israeli government to the Nazis constitutes contemporary anti-Semitism. Then on the issue of an East London mural he backed 6 years ago, the idea of Jewish bankers and capitalists exploiting the workers of the world is an old anti-Semitic conspiracy theory. I am sorry for not having studied the content of the mural more closely before wrongly questioning its removal in 2012. That was the breaking point for many in the Jewish community, the emergence of his Facebook comments about the retention of this mural. But there have been other instances of Corbynite supporters, such as Ken Livingstone, suspended over comments about Hitler,
Racist remarks,
and others playing down anti-Semitic rhetoric as an attempt to smear his leadership.
The Labour Party has looked into allegations of anti-Semitism and taken action, but zero tolerance has to mean zero tolerance, not just two words. It means that action will always be taken.
All of this may impede Labour electorally ahead of crucial council votes in places such as Barnet in North London.
Barnet is just the sort of place where Jeremy Corbyn needs to be and should be winning parliamentary seats and councils too. But something's holding back the Labour vote here. Many feel it's a high proportion of Jewish voters unconvinced by Mr Corbyn. This is the sort of council where they have special refuse collection services during Passover, and here they're far from convinced about the Labour leader and his attitude to the Jewish community.
Mike Katz stood for election in the Hendon seat last year.
When we go out and campaigning in Barnet, we say, look how woeful the Conservative administration is, look what Labour can offer for you in Barnet Town Hall and what can be delivered. And it'd be a crying shame if the potential of a positive Labour administration was undermined by the issue of anti-Semitism in the Labour Party.
Went to Auschwitz some years ago.
15 months ago, Sky News accompanied Mr Corbyn to a concentration camp in the Czech Republic. Anti-Semitism, he said, led to one of the worst crimes of the 20th century. He still has much to do to persuade the Jewish community that he's fully committed to erasing it among his own support base. Faisal Islam, Sky News.